A warm welcome to you anywhere around the world. This is Nationwide on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. Incidentally, the last for the year 2025. I'd like to specially welcome you. I'm Ayodeji Makinde. We are live in Abuja. We'll begin with security matters. Operations are on to apprehend terrorists fleeing their camps following the joint Nigeria-US bombardment of terrorist cells nationwide. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that the Director, Defense Media Operations, Major General Michael Onoja, stated this during the end-of-the-year briefing on military operations.
It's the last Defense Media Operations briefing in 2025, and Major General Michael Onoja is here with details of major success recorded. Top is the recent Nigeria-US bombardment of terrorist camps in Sokoto, killing and displacing several criminals.
There is a process of battle damage assessment. We are still in that process, and I can assure you that once that is completed, we will communicate to the public all our observations. However, for now, let us rely on the statement that was made by the Presidency and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Let it suffice.
On the debris and fragments emanating from the bombardment, the Director of Defense Media Operations has a word of caution.
On the issue of the bomb that dropped in Ofa, we cannot rule out the human error. Luckily for us, there was no casualty. We don't expect anybody to take away those materials. We have formations within the armed forces whose duty it is to recover those things. They should return them to the military or security locations so that we can disarm those things before they cause greater damage to the individuals who have taken them and to the other members of the public.
Similarly, 2,336 kidnapped victims were rescued by troops of the armed forces, while 4,375 suspects were arrested in different theaters in 2025. Before the commencement of the briefing, a minute's silence was observed in honor of 7 NTA Gombe staff who recently lost their lives in a road accident. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
In the meantime, the Zamfara State Police Command has announced the successful completion of a joint explosive ordnance disposal sweep operation along the Gusau-Magamidan-Sadao Road. The operation followed the detonation of an improvised explosive device by suspected terrorists along the road on 27th December 2025, resulting in the loss of 8 lives and the destruction of property. In a statement, the Zamfara State Police Command Public Relations Officer DSP Yazid Abubakar says the road has now been cleared and declared safe for normal vehicular and human movement. The statement encourages people in the state to remain vigilant and to promptly report any suspicious objects or activities to the nearest security agency for appropriate action. Nigeria will have to take collective responsibility for the nation's safety by becoming their brother's keeper in the fight against all forms of insecurity. This was part of conversations on NTA's flagship program, Good Morning Nigeria, where guests emphasized the need for a more coordinated security efforts both within and beyond the country's borders. Thomas Ogbetere reports.
Nigeria's security sector in 2025 remains firmly anchored on intelligence-driven operations, stronger interagency coordination, and strategic international partnerships. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria stressed the need for a united front involving government, security agencies, communities, and regional partners.
Like your police number now, okay, there is an issue now. It is not until you have the DPO's number, but even as a community, why do you not have the DPO's number?
While commending the effort of government, security agencies, and personnel, the guest also said the recent cooperation with the United States, including intelligence support and surveillance activities linked to the operations in part of Sokoto State, is aimed at disrupting bandit and terrorist network and degrading their operational capacity.
The intention is that Nigeria needs assistance because the insecurity situation we are facing currently seems to is becoming very disturbing. So there is need to get assistance from any well-meaning country.
They called for more effort by government at all levels, the armed forces and the Ministry of Defense to also tackle kidnapping, banditry and terrorism through coordinated responses, leadership reforms and improved welfare and capacity for security personnel. In Abuja, Thomas Ogbetere, NTA News.
Senate leader, Senator Okpeyemi Bamidele, has described the outgoing year as a defining period for Nigeria, marked by far-reaching reforms across critical sectors of the economy. In a statement, Senator Bamidele said the National Assembly worked collaboratively with other arms of government to implement key reforms while respecting the constitutionally guaranteed independence of each arm. He noted achievements in lawmaking, including the enactment of a new tax regime, efforts to end the culture of multiple budgets, engagement with stakeholders on the review of the 1999 Constitution, and reforms aimed at strengthening the credibility and transparency of the electoral process. Looking ahead, Senator Bamidele disclosed that the Senate will convene a National Security Summit in Abuja in the first quarter of 2026 to deepen internal security and stability across the Federation. He added that the 2026 appropriation bill is currently at the committee stage, with committees working round the clock to ensure that the National Assembly reconvenes on January 27 to deliberate on the outcome of the budget defense. 38 ministries and extra-ministerial departments have successfully completed the transition from paper-based processes to digital platforms as of 31st December 2025. Haman Jabani reports that the head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Dede Esther Walsinjak, disclosed this while highlighting the achievements recorded under the paperless transition of the Federal Civil Service.
Shows that 33 ministries are now fully digital alongside 5 extra ministerial departments. In addition, over 100,000 civil servants are now enrolled on GovMail platform compared to fewer than 20,000 in 2024. This development has strengthened sovereignty over official correspondence, enhanced responsiveness across ministries, departments and agencies, and reduced reliance on unofficial communication channels. Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Dede Esther Walsinjak, explains that the digitization platform aligns with the Nigerian's national development priorities and international best practices.
It was a year marked by measurable results, rapid onboarding, enhanced adoption support, and coordinated execution, driven through the Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation implementation architecture to ensure standardization, compliance, and sustained performance tracking.
Following the achievement of this milestone, the Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation will expand implementation to all departments and agencies while sustaining momentum, implementation optimization, compliance monitoring, cybersecurity enhancement, and further digitization of workflow.
I also acknowledge the vital contributions of enabling institutions and strategic partners whose institutional support enhanced implementation capacity and accelerated results in the OneGov ECM rollout. Galaxy Backbone support was essential to reaching this milestone, feasible at scale and guaranteed delivery by the December 31, 2025 deadline.
In partnership with the United Nations Development Programme, the office would launch a service-wide training of trainers program for 500 trainees that will in turn train officers across ministries and other extra-ministerial departments to ensure practical, hand-on and sustainable adoption of the paperless system. Haman Jabani, NTA News.
With few hours to the end of 2025, 2026 begins in parts of the Pacific, particularly countries in the region who are the first to greet the new year, ahead of those in Europe, Africa and the Americas. Musa Baba Ali reports that both New Zealand and Australia marked the occasion with spectacular fireworks display.
New Zealand's largest city, Auckland, ushered in 2026 with a spectacular fireworks display launched from the iconic Sky Tower, the country's tallest structure. Despite persistent wet weather in the city centre, thousands gathered to mark the occasion with the vibrant pyrotechnics illuminating the night sky and reflecting over the harbour. Shortly after, other Pacific Island nations joined the festivities. Samoa and Tonga welcomed the new year with cultural performances, religious gatherings, and community events, blending local tradition with joyful countdowns. As the new year wave continued westward, Australia's eastern cities, including Sydney, with its world-famous Harbour Bridge fireworks, added to the global spectacular shortly thereafter. Fiji and China followed closely, hosting relaxed beachside parties, traditional dances, and modest fireworks displays. These early celebrations occurred hours before larger events in other parts of the world, approximately 10 hours ahead of Nigeria's time. The rolling countdown highlights how time zones create a truly worldwide chain of hope and renewal, beginning in the specific remote islands and spreading across continent over nearly 26 hours. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Now, the beginning of every year usually comes with New Year resolutions, as most people see it as a time to set targets for themselves. But how far do they actually achieve these set goals? Beatrice Aniyam, who spoke with some residents in Owerri, Imo State, brings us details.
Resolutions are personal or professional goals one aims to achieve in the year ahead. It is a proposal to do something differently in the new year and serves as a guide to becoming a better version of one's self. Areas people often make resolutions to improve upon include family life, financial stability, commitment to improve physical health, and career passion, among many others. Although many people develop New Year plans at the beginning of the year, research has shown that only 8 to 12% of the people achieve these goals.
To an extent, not fully, I do achieve, somehow, maybe 80% of it. And I'm very happy because I'm only human. So I'm not a perfectionist.
In the past, I do say I won't do this one again. But I found myself doing it, so I decided not to be involving myself into that New Year resolution thing.
I feel what one needs to do is just every first of the year, you call your family, you pray together and commit the year into the hands of God.
Pastors Nnamdi Akujo and Moses Achu give the spiritual perspective to New Year resolutions.
If there is any one of us out there who have not achieved all that he has set his heart to do this year, in the new year, you should just brace up and know that all time is not lost.
Never allow people to meet you where they left you, and don't allow them to see you the same way they saw you last year. So if you must abide and keep to your New Year's resolution, you must have what we call determination. That's the most important thing. Number 2, you must also change your association.
With determination and one step at a time in 2026, respondents say targets will be achieved. In Owerri, Beatrice Aniyam, NTA.
Of course, we are live in Abuja, and we have resolved to link up with Beatrice live to tell us more in Owerri how far people achieved their resolutions. Well, tell us more, Beatrice, on this particular trend.
Thank you, Ayo Deji. Welcome to Owerri and compliments of the season. It is almost like a norm for people every January to plan their ways or dreams and aspirations. Fantastic. But you see, most of these plans do not survive, even before the test of time, as about 60% of these New Year resolutions always go silent before the end of February even, and become unachievable. In the course of filing this report, I found out it is so because most of the New Year resolutions are based on motivation, not just on reality. And as a result, one ignores the level of his or her energy or strength to carry out his plans. But to achieve the New Year resolution, there are certain factors one should adhere to. You know, you set out your targets. Determination is also key to achieving these targets. Then start small by small and make it simple. Then you also have to track your progress. So to achieve one's resolution does not happen in a dramatic moment, but it is created quietly, daily, one step after the other, and one step at a time. In fact, that is it.
Could you just give us more insights about the sincerity of purpose? Because like some would argue, it doesn't have to be the end of the new year, end of the year before you have your resolution.
I know that sometimes people do make a resolution depending on what they want to achieve. But you know, generally, many people, including yours truly, I believe you too, you can make New Year resolution. So that is it, but not certainly at the beginning of the year.
I'd just like to thank you for your contribution and of course your resolve to give us the updates right there from Owerri on this particular trend. Let's hope those that will have the resolution by today will keep at it. Thanks for your contribution again. The Federal Road Safety Corps and the Ogun State Police Command have affirmed that the auto crash involving former world heavyweight boxing champion Anthony Joshua and others along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway was allegedly caused by a tire burst. The Zonal Commanding Officer, FRSC Lagos and Ogun State, and Oludayo and Ogun State Police Public Relations Officer, DSP Oluseyi Babasheyi, gave the clarification in Abeokuta, Ogun State. Yemi Dalemo tells us more.
Ogun State Police Command says preliminary investigation into the accident involving the world heavyweight boxing champion Anthony Joshua and his team along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway revealed that a tire burst from the vehicle conveying the boxing star caused the accident, which led to the death of the boxer's assistants, leaving the boxing star and two others injured. Police Public Relations Officer of the command, DSP Oluseyi Babasheyi, explained that the Commissioner of Police, Lanre Ogunlowo, had directed the State Motor Traffic Department at the headquarters of the command to take up the full investigation, which is already ongoing. Babasheyi explained that the road was not the cause of the accident, as the road is safe and smooth to drive on.
I've commenced our investigations and we found out that the vehicle that Anthony Joshua in was, the tire got burst, and this led to the car swerving out of the road and hitting the stationary vehicle. As I've earlier said, the whole truck. The investigation is still onwards to note that that we have to get to the extent of the situation that led to this accident. And also we should also note that the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway is a pothole-free road.
The eyewitness said they had a tire burst. So obviously, it's most likely that the vehicle was coming on top speed, and as a result of the tire burst, which the eyewitnesses said, lost control and then ran into that.
I understand is well, because though we have been in contact with the father and with the mother, because they are always getting in touch, so we know that health-wise is stable.
The police and the Federal Road Safety Corps, as well as other security agencies, pledged continued collaboration and synergy to protect lives and property from road crashes at all times. In Abeokuta, Yemi Dalemo, NTA News.
In the meantime, Corps Marshal Federal Road Safety Corps FRSC Shehu Mohammed has received with profound grief the heartbreaking news of the fatal road traffic crash involving a bus conveying members of the National Union of Journalists NUJ en route Yola to Gombe, which reportedly claimed the lives of 6 journalists. In a statement signed by the Corps Public Education Officer Segun Ogungbemide, it says the Corps Marshal described the incident as a devastating blow to the media family and the nation at large. noting that the loss of journalists, voices of truth and conscience under such tragic circumstances is deeply painful and unacceptable. He expressed heartfelt sympathy to the families, colleagues and loved ones of the deceased, while praying for the peaceful repose of their souls and speedy recovery of those injured. Another fire incident occurred in Lagos State, this time at Arena Market, Bolade, Oshodi. The fire, which broke out Tuesday, affected a section of the market made up of 5 40-foot container shops arranged in 2 rows, totaling 10 shops. The affected shops were mainly used for the storage and sale of clothing materials kept in bales. The fire was contained from spreading to other parts of the market. In a statement signed by Margaret Adesheye, Controller General of Lagos State Fire and Rescue Service, the agency assured the public that the situation is fully under control with no threats to lives or surrounding property. An investigation into the cause of the fire will be carried out and further updates provided. Let's pause for some messages. This is Nationwide. We'll be back shortly. You're welcome back. Let's take you now to our Benin Network Center and Obehi as the reports on this day, the last day of the year 2025.
Idayodeji, many thanks for joining us here in Benin. The year 2025 is almost over, and some Benin residents are beginning to reposition themselves with the realities on ground in order to have the best results in 2026. Elizabeth Omoko interacted with some of them and reports that the anticipation for a better tomorrow is sure.
The year 2025, no doubt for many, must have been a mixture of both the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, with the expiration of the year just few hours away, these respondents say they have begun their personal preparations for the year in different ways.
I've been able to prepare. I've bought things for my children, for myself, my husband, my family. We are looking forward to the new year, to celebrate it with pomp and pageantry by the grace of God.
Preparation is not all about going a long march to do. So I've done that on my own because I know a time like this will come.
This year does not look like New Year at Sosha. But anyway, we are managing.
My preparation is to follow God. Because me, by following God, I always see the reward, I see the gain.
While for many, year 2025 has been an eventful year, filled with surprises, others say otherwise, and have promised to avoid the mistakes of the past.
Business-wise, yes, we have plans for next year to expand, to grow. We have had plans from November. We're looking to grow that into January. We just finished finalizations on some extra businesses to open. And family-wise, we have met, we have enjoyed the Christmas, and we're ready to begin 2026.
Say God give us a long life. We not get case, we not get the hospital. Now God now get everything. Thank God very much. For myself, I very thank God where.
In all, the people are grateful to God for His faithfulness and protection all through the year. In Benin, Elizabeth Omoko, NTA News.
It has been a reform-driven 12 months for the civil service under the current administration of Senator Monday Okpebholo, recording some resounding achievements that has engendered prompt service delivery in Edo State. Our correspondent, Goodluck Enaini, in this report highlights some major landmarks in the outgoing year 2025.
Mr. Governor has approved the Edo State Public Service Retooling and Enhancement Program, what we call the Edo Prep. Mr. Governor has been very firm that the work of the civil service must be done by civil servants. It is towards ensuring that the shine agenda of the government of Edo State becomes a reality.
The civil service is often regarded as the engine room of any government. This explains the reason why every responsive government is doing all it can in ensuring it aligns with the modern-day realities. Foremost of these achievements include prompt payment of salaries, recruitment of staff, and upward review of minimum wage.
This government, in just 1 year in office, has employed close to 8,000 people into the civil service. I don't think any government has done that in the past.
Pensioners now receive their pensions as and when due, just as entitlement of dead civil servants have been significantly accelerated. This is in addition to scholarship award to the awards. Similarly, there is a new initiative of sponsoring first-class graduates in the graduate studies.
For every first-class graduate coming into the system, you must go for your master's degree before you come on board, and that is at the expense of government.
I want to thank the governor first of all for giving the first class this opportunity. He did not just take us there and abandon it. He's still helping our growth.
These reforms for the state government goes beyond mere statement. They are deliberate steps towards building a more efficient and responsive civil service. In Benin, good luck in any NT News.
And that's it from Benin. Nationwide continues with Ayodeji in Abuja. Ayodeji.
Thanks so much, Obehi. At a critical moment in Nigeria's democratic journey, the Integrity Youth Alliance is renewing its call for increased funding and comprehensive support for the Nigeria Police Force, warning that credible elections in 2027 depend largely on a well-resourced, motivated and professional police institution. The group says as the nation inches closer to the general elections, rebuilding public trust in security agencies has become a national necessity that must be treated with urgency.
As preparations for the 2027 elections intensify, we call on the federal government of Nigeria, the National Assembly, and development partners to provide the necessary backing that will enable the Nigeria Police Force to deliver on its constitutional mandate. The Integrity Youth Alliance stands resolute, committed, and ready to work with all stakeholders in ensuring that the Nigeria Police Force is empowered, trusted, and supported to secure the 2027 elections.
The Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of the Force Criminal Investigation Department, FCID Annex, Alagbon AIG Margaret Ochala, assures Nigerians that the Annex will continue to uphold the rule of law in all its operations.
This is a moment of reflection and recommitment. We have worked long hours, often under difficult conditions, to ensure that criminals are intelligently identified, investigated, and removed from our streets without fear.
She commends officers of the Annex for what she describes as a successful and impactful 2025, urging them to sustain the momentum in 2026 with renewed dedication, professionalism, and integrity in service to the nation. Kogi State Governor Ahmed Ododo has flagged off the e-registration of members of the All Progressives Congress. He performed the exercise at his polling unit 001 Okpogoro Ward in Okene local government area, marking the commencement of the party's digital membership registration. Ajibola Christopher reports.
The APC e-registration is to digitally onboard members, creating a transparent, credible and model database for the party. Governor Dodo at the exercise says his administration remains committed to the APC and the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, whom he describes as a president leading from the front and rewriting the story of modern governance, stressing that the digital registration framework aligns with the President Tinubu innovation-driven agenda.
Kogi Central, and especially and particularly Ebiras and Upogoro community, we are eager, my people are eager, that they cannot wait any longer because they want to show gratitude to Abelo and to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
E-membership registration of All Progressive Congress, because we need to have a party membership that can stand the test of time.
With the commencement of the e-registration exercise, which recorded a significant turnout, Kogi State becomes one of the first in the Federation to achieve full implementation of APC new digital membership framework. Ajibola Christopher, NTA News.
More than 500 pilgrims have been airlifted for the 2025 Christian pilgrimage in Jordan and Israel. At the maiden flag-off, the Executive Secretary, Nigerian Christians Pilgrim Commission, NCPC, Bishop Stephen Adegbite, urged pilgrims to be true ambassadors of the country and pray for the nation. Moses Ochigbo reports that the commission, for the first time in history of Christian pilgrimage, will be using an Airbus Boeing 777-300 airplane with 525 seating capacity.
The first set of pilgrims airlifted for the holy exercise are from the Bauchi contingent.
The experience is just phenomenal because you can go to anywhere in the world. You just go for leisure and other things, but this is the only place you go and pick up the blessings and come back with it. So I'm really thrilled, I'm really excited, and I'm looking forward to the experience.
The Minister of State for FCT, Hajj Maria Mahmood, represented, charged the intending pilgrims to pray for peace, unity and security in the country and ensure they return to Nigeria spiritually enriched.
I urge you to conduct yourself as a worthy ambassador of Nigeria, uphold the laws of the host countries, respect constituted authorities, and let your conduct reflect the virtues of humility, discipline, and love.
And it's a message of trust and belief in God. They should believe in the Lord they are serving and the Lord they want to go and meet in the Holy Land. God is already waiting for them, and it's going to be a transforming experience. They will see God in a new way, and their life will never remain the same.
The pilgrims are to visit holy sites during the pilgrimage exercise.
All right, that was Moses Ochigbo's report presented from our studio. Now let's turn our attention to the Center of Excellence. Our Lagos Network Center and SA is already on ground to give us the reports.
Thank you for joining us in Lagos. The federal government says it will not relent in ensuring that the restructured over 120-year-old railway heritage continues to deliver on its modern rail travel experience that will boost the nation's socio-economic prospects. This is the conviction of the Nigerian Railway Corporation as it introduces the railway fusion to Nigerians, telling them of its renewed vigor of modern rail travel experience in the new year. Larry Belay has more.
This program is an interface mechanism to make Nigerians see the vision of the federal government as it concerns the rail sector. It is also to tell Nigerians that in the new year, they promise to give a unique rail traveling experience that has a fusion of Nigeria's tourism, business, trade facilitation, and entertainment.
I don't even feel like I'm inside train. Before, when you're inside train, you'll be doing bru, but now it's so convenient.
Concerning the rail transport, it used to be very bad, but with this, and the only thing that I can see is that once you have the right person handling the right position, things will work well.
The managing director of Nigerian Railway Corporation, Kayode Okpeyefel, while highlighting federal government's goal for the rail sector in the coming years to its stakeholders in the private and public sectors, stated that regardless of what Nigerian Railway went through in the year, the corporation is not deterred in its repositioning, reformation, and revival process.
It is part of our Vision 25-10-20. That is to optimize what we have. And we are going to do this, we are repeating this all over the country. We want to let people know that the railway environment is not just to move people, it is about our heritage.
For the Nigerian Railway Corporation, this is a renewed effort at rebranding the age-long railway corporation. It's also to bring people to see that luxury on rail
is not for the rich and those that can afford it, but for all Nigerians. In Lagos, Larry Pillay, NTA News.
Sectorial growth review shows strong performance in ICT, infrastructure, finance, construction, renewable energy and agribusiness, as well as the creative economy. These were the views of industry watchers on the economic review as the year 2025 winds down. Amaka Owo reports.
The year 2025 recorded positive economic growth, with the latest figures from the National Bureau of Statistics released, showing a 3.89% increase in the gross domestic product (GDP) in the third quarter of 2025, indicating a 0.52% when compared to the same period in the year 2024. Several favorable policies, experts say, are shaping the economic landscape, which has translated to noticeable growth. In the areas of fiscal and regulatory reforms, the new tax policy and passage of the Investment and Securities Act were actualized to boost revenue earnings.
There is a lot of good things for Nigerians in the new tax system.
Other deliberate steps geared towards repositioning the economy on the path of recovery with the aim of boosting investors' confidence also include the capital market upgrade, exit from the Financial Action Task Force released. Most important is the monetary policy tightening and stability, bank recapitalization drive by the Apex Bank.
In central banking, as in life, credibility is the most valuable currency.
What stood out in 2025 was the macroeconomic stability, which manifested in the stability of the exchange rates, and we even experienced some, slight appreciation in the exchange rate.
In line with infrastructural projects is the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, considered a legacy project of the present administration.
The transformational impact will be unbelievable. That is the reality. The economy that it will drive in itself is major.
Direct investment soared to over $720 million in the third quarter of the year. Economic activities in the year 2025 also featured presentation of the 5.18 trillion naira 2026 budget in Lagos. Amaka O, NTA News.
Those are the reports from Lagos. Nationwide continues with Ayodeji in Abuja for more on Nationwide.
Thanks so much, SA, in our Lagos Network Center. Drug abuse among youth in Sokoto State is driven by peer pressure, unemployment, poverty, and easy access to drugs. Bashir Ibrahim Nababa takes an in-depth look at this growing menace, which poses serious threats to Nigeria's future.
Prevalence of illicit substances and other harmful drugs continue to be a major concern for governments, communities, and corporate organizations in Sokoto State. Among the main causes are peer group influence, idleness, and other socio-economic factors. Intake of drugs without prescription and use of psychotropic substances have serious consequences on the human health, as it may lead to mental disorders and life-threatening illnesses. Economically, it reduces productivity and increases public health care costs, while socially, it fuels crime and undermines national development.
Most of the parents doesn't care about how the children, where they are, what they are doing, their friends, where they sleep, where they spend their days, So actually, it's one of the major factors. That is poor parenting, guidance.
I want to call on all and sundry to avoid drug abuse because the effects are devastating, and this effect can be seen.
To tackle this rising menace, authorities, community leaders, and organizations are encouraged to engage youth through community outreach awareness campaigns, counseling, and educational programs, among other initiatives. On its part, government is expected to implement targeted policies, enforce existing laws, and develop programs aimed at reducing availability and consumption of illicit drugs. From Sokoto, Bashir Ibrahim Nababa, NTA News.
Now let's return to Sokoto and join Nuruddin Abdullahi to give us more on this disturbing matter. What more can authorities do to, if possible, end this menace?
Hello, welcome to NTA Sokoto Network Center. Here we are at the Sokoto State Command of the NDLEA Sokoto. Here we are with the State Commander of the NDLEA Sokoto State, Mustafa Muhammad Gedado, who will shed more light on the activities of the command. Sir.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Yes.
What are the specific drugs being, and how easy are these?
Actually, when I came as the 9th State Commander of Sokoto, some four months ago, the commonly abused drug in Sokoto State is the Indian hemp, that is popularly known as cannabis sativa or Igbo or Wiwi or whatever. And that is the most commonly abused drug. When I came, I found out. And another thing that is commonly abused in Sokoto is the rapnol. That is rapnol. And another one that is trending now is this methamphetamine, or popularly known as ice. That is what is trending in Sokoto. And it is not like everywhere that you go, you see them as people are thinking. But we are doing our best to bring it considerably to the. So these are the things that are happening now in Sokoto. Currently, that are trending in Sokoto as the popular drugs.
What are the early kind of stage? What are the early things that? What are the early signs that parents can detect?
The early signs for drug detection are the children's behavior. Parents are advised to check their children, look at their behaviors, their activities, their peer groups, their friends. You need to check who are your children's friends, who are they going out with. So by the time you realize, and then where are they going to? At this time around maybe 9, you didn't see your children, where are they? You have to check at the activities of children, and then you consider who are their friends. These are some of the symbolic things that you look, some of the characteristics that you look in your own children to detect whatever they are doing.
Thank you very much for having us. We'll turn to NTA Nationwide for the continuation of the.
Much appreciated by colleague Nuruddin there in Sokoto on the renewed optimism that the scourge of drug abuse will reduce in Sokoto State. Yes, we're still in the state of Caliphate, but this time around it will be our network center where Sadia will take it up from here.
As in Sokoto. Sokoto State pilgrims for the 2026 Hajj are currently undergoing medical screening in compliance with the rules and regulations of the Saudi authority. Abdullahi Umar Ilalu reports that the exercise is under the auspices of the Sokoto State Pilgrims Welfare Agency. The report.
The medical screening is aimed at ensuring that all pilgrims from Sokoto State are physically and mentally fit to perform the 2026 Hajj rites in the Holy Land. Flagging of the exercise, the chairman of the Sokoto State Pilgrims Welfare Agency, Aliyu Musa, urged the pilgrims to fully utilize the opportunity, noting that it is crucial to their safety and successful participation in the Hajj.
This medical screening was introduced by Saudi Arabian government in collaboration with Nigerian National Hajj Commission to ascertain the real health and physical fitness of all intending pilgrims. Without it, visa should not be issued to any intending pilgrims.
Sokoto State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Faruk Umar Abubakar, charged members of the screening team to strictly adhere to established medical guidelines in the discharge of their duties, stressing the importance of professionalism and thorough checkup. The screening covers conditions such as epilepsy, heart failure, diabetes, tuberculosis, cancer, and other ailments that could affect pilgrims during the Hajj operation. Some of the participants commended the agency for the initiative and pledged to comply with medical advices given by experts.
We have made adequate arrangement. We have provided the necessary vaccine that will be provided to all the intending pilgrims, including the yellow fever, meningitis, and all other related vaccines that Saudi Arabia also directed. We are ready to screen this patient as well as to ensure that these patients were vaccinated.
The medical screening is an ongoing process designed to ensure full coverage of all pilgrims across the state. In Sokoto, Abdullah Omar Ilalu, NTA News.
And that's it from Sokoto for now. It's now over to Mary in Jos. Do stay.
To Jos, Governor Caleb Mutfwang says government remains determined to resettling the internally displaced persons across the state. He stated this during the foundation laying of a pilot resettlement project of the Eden Initiative for Humanitarian Support in Basa local government area. Ndayang and Ebagang reports.
For over 2 decades, Plateau State has been bedeviled by a series of crises leading to loss of lives and property, thereby forcing survivors to flee from their homes. Governor Mutfwang, while laying the foundation for the pilot resettlement project, described the gesture as a humanitarian effort to restore dignity and stability of people displaced by years of violent conflict.
I therefore have no doubt in my heart that this initiative to bring Eden to Basa local government is an initiative that God will honor.
Chairman of the Eden Initiative for Humanitarian Support, Reverend Pandan Yamsat, says the vision of the initiative is to create self-sustaining and resilient communities in which displaced persons and their families can rebuild their lives.
This is an act bringing into reality what started as a meeting of concerned individuals regarding the trails of despondency that have accompanied the years of attacks.
Stakeholders expressed appreciation for the project, saying it is a beacon of hope for the hopeless. In Jos, Indenyan and Abuja, NTA News.
And that's our contribution from Jos. The very last for the year 2025. Nationwide continues with Ayodeji in Abuja.
Thank you so much, Mary in Jos Network Center. And of course, all the best of the new year ahead. That's Nationwide. I'd like to appreciate you for your time. I'm Ayodeji Makinde. On behalf of the entire production crew, it's been a great 2025. See you in 2026. Bye-bye.